can update your home, you have to actually own a home, right? So our friend is here with us today, Darryl Baskin, real estate expert of the Baskin Real Estate Specialist, to help us
Are
out.
you wearing Google glasses?
I am wearing Google Glass.
It freaked me out at first. He said, I'm just going to record everything that we're doing from my glasses. I'm going to leave them on. So be prepared for that.
Well, here's what's happening. Here's what's happening. How many people get to be on the set of Great Day Green Country?
Not many.
So
Very special few.
Very soon, you can just tune into TulsaLiveEvents.com. We will show you, from Google Glass perspective, what it's like to be a guest on the show.
Very cool.
How is technology?
So
I'm going to ask you this because, you know, you're ahead of the technology all the time, but it's really changed real estate, hasn't it?
I tell you, I was thinking on the way over here, what am I going to talk about? Well,
That's good.
I've been in this 25 years, and I remember when the fax machine changed the way we delivered contracts. When I started, we had this phone that had the two big, you know, the old kind of phone, two big things, not cell phone, it had a wire, and you had to put it on those two suction cups in order to get connected to the MLS. And this is the technology revolution that's taking place right now is changing real estate. And that's why we call eXp Realty smarter real estate, because there's drone technology, there's Google Glass. We can list something instantaneously and have it out to the marketplace. And as a realtor, we have to know how to deal with that because we're marketing professionals for our sellers. Right. So it's just an exciting time.
So where do you start? For someone like me, I've never owned a home before. How do you go about knowing, I mean, there's so many questions that I have, but knowing when it's time to buy a house, when you're in that place and when you're ready, and then figuring out which one is perfect for you before you sign on that dotted line?
This is an investment decision and a quality of life decision, and those have to be balanced. If you look at it strictly as investment, you think, well, this isn't a good enough deal, and then you continue living in this boxy little apartment, not enjoying life. And then if you get too crazy, you're spending too much money on a lifestyle and not actually getting any return that you should get from real estate. So you want to look at it as an investment, an investment in your lifestyle, making sure that you're going to live there long enough to be able to recover some of the money that you're putting into it.
Like how long?
In our market, you usually want to have 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
And that may mean, think about this, if you buy a house for $100,000 and you sell it for $100,000, but you've paid some fees and expenses, and so it cost you at closing $5,000 to sell your property. It seems like that's a loss. Yeah. But what about your tax write-offs? What about the other things that you were able to enjoy that had you lived in a rental property, you would have spent money and then lost? Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into the decision. The best thing is to be educated. And too many consumers enter the market, they start going to an open house, parade of homes, whatever, and they just make decisions without thinking, what are the long-term consequences of this? What does this do to me in 5 years? What does this do to me in 20 years? And making the right real estate decisions has made many people millionaires as investors. But as a homeowner, you just want to understand what you're doing.
What are some of the biggest mistakes that you have seen young homeowners make?
They buy a home based on what is going to impress their friends. And I wish young people could come out of college and say, you know, this isn't the fanciest home, but I can buy this 2-bedroom, 1-bath home for less than what I could afford, make it very nice, and then sell it, make a little money, use it for the next down payment, and start to see their home as something that they can eventually own rather than pay on the rest of their lives. We got into this consumer overconsumption society, and we just were throwing houses away. Oh, I'm done with this one. Yeah. Okay, it's okay at different times of your life, but don't try to impress your friends.
Question real quick before we wrap. Good time to buy or good time to sell?
This is one of the best times, period. Interest rates are low. The inventory is starting to decline, but there's still plenty of inventory so that a seller can't demand a certain price. They got to be very careful. It's before spring. There's always a good time of year, but before spring, sellers are just out of winter. They want to get their houses sold, and they don't want to wait until summer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Darryl.
I want to work
My
with
pleasure.
This guy.
Well,
he makes me want to get a house.
You can work with him.
Thank you so much.
Find out at DarrylBaskin.com. You can give him a call at 918-258-2600. Listen to Darryl. He's, of course, on The Future of Real Estate every Saturday at 1 p.m. at AM 740 and FM 102.3 News Talk, KRMG. And, like you said, the website. Tell them about the website.
What is your website?
TulsaLiveEvents.com.
TulsaLiveEvents.com. We'll have private behind-the-scenes interviews here from the show,
Oh,
tips from the
that's what I'm
experts.
doing right now.
So
Live interviews on home
Thank
maintenance,
you.
repair, and financial advice. Thanks to Darryl Baskin.
Thanks
You
again.
rock.
good to be here.
You look like a Cylon, but you rock.
All right, make your backyard a nature preserve. Think about that, birds flying around everywhere, such an oasis. And then $1.75 a gallon, we talked about that earlier. We're teasing you.
Yeah,
That's
$1.75 a gallon to fill up. Don't go anywhere.
Good.
You're awesome.
Thank you. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you
meeting you.
so much.
Good to see you again.
You make me feel better.